What's up, guys? I am out here today with the Q303 sent to me courtesy of GearBest.com, and I'm gonna make a bold statement with this one. I don't like to make bold statements, but I feel comfortable making it with the Q303. This might be my favorite toy grade quadcopter of all time. It's a big quad that kind of flies like a little quad, and it kind of does a little bit of everything. It does FPV, it has a nice camera on it, you can get some nice aerial video, you get a good long flight time out of it. It's got powerful motors, so you're gonna get more days where you're gonna be in the air because this one can fight the wind very well. As I said earlier, it's a great FPV flyer because of this wide angle lens, and it has kind of like a one-axis gimbal on it that's going to keep the horizon somewhat level to the setting that you set the camera at. So you set the height of the camera if you want to tilt it down, or if you want to tilt it straight on, or maybe even a little bit up. The gimbal's going to kind of work to keep the camera level with the horizon. So let's get this guy in the air. Put our transmitter down for 1 sec here, and we're gonna put our battery in here. Not exactly sure of the milliamp hours on this. I'll probably look it up in the manual when I go home and flash it on the screen. So I'll have that on the screen for you. We'll set it down here, and we're gonna turn our transmitter on. It's gonna beep like that for you, and it's gonna bind automatically. So there's no up-down arming with this one. It's just ready to go once it binds. And let's turn on our FPV monitor here. And we got a nice shot of the grass. So you're gonna have your little counter here, and you start and stop. It's gonna go red and start counting. And as I said, it records in 3-minute clips. So it's gonna reset every 3 minutes. So we're in 40%. Let's go right to 60 and 80. Right to 80, yeah. Go up in the air here. And we're in the 80% rate to just give you an idea of how this one flies. There's your yaw on 80%. A little bit of a wind coming at me here, so it's blowing it back towards me. But this one will fight the wind very easily. So here we are in 80%. Let's see if we can go out, make it to the cornfield over here a little bit. And we're basically there. My FPV is cutting out a little bit, but it's not a big deal because I'm flying this mostly line of sight and using the monitor as a reference. Monitor works very well in this one as far as FPV goes. Not a whole lot of latency, and you can definitely fly this with the monitor. But like I said, this one flies around real smooth. We're in 80% here, not a whole lot of wind right now. Get a little bit of gusts here and there, but no big deal. And you get great range on this one. So like I said earlier, it's kind of like this large quadcopter that thinks it's a small quad. You know how you got the dog, you get these big German Shepherds or something like that, and they don't know they're these giant dogs. They like to sit on your lap and be more of a lap dog. Well, this one's kind of like a giant quad that doesn't realize it is a giant quad. It flies a lot like a smaller quad. You can get it very acrobatic. You can fly it around like I am now and get more of an aerial video type of deal going. But we're on 80% here, and let's just try and do like a small funnel here. It kind of does pretty decent funnels for such a large quad. I mean, look at that. We're only on 80% here. I find that the yaw doesn't really change when you change the rates. So I mean, not a bad funnel for such a large quad. This is about the size of a DJI Phantom or something like that. Let's go to 100% here. So we're in 100%, and you know, it gets pretty quick in this 100% rate. Pretty impressive how fast this one will get going. And like I said, it will fight almost any sort of windy conditions you have, I'm gonna go out there and say. And you get great range on it. very fun to fly in an open area like this. Definitely like this one quite a bit. Let's bring it in close again. And it is just a gorgeous day here in central New York also. It does fly a little bit heavy, so you're gonna wanna be careful of that vortex ring state. And so let's demonstrate some flips while we're in here close. So it'll flip to the side, other side, and backward, and forward. And look at that. These flips, it recovers from those flips very well. Flies just really precise and really acrobatic for such a large quad. And you can definitely get some FPV going with it also. So that's why I'm saying this one might be my favorite quad of all time. You can fly this in windy conditions and it's not gonna really bother it so much. Obviously, if you're not that experienced, I don't recommend flying in windy conditions, but this one comes in around 135 bucks for this FPV version, and definitely not a bad price if you're looking to get into like a DJI Phantom or something like that, but you don't want to drop 1,500 bucks and not know how to fly and maybe crash your $1,500 DJI Phantom. You might want to pick up something like this for like 135 bucks, and it's going to be a great starter quad to get into aerial video or something like that. Or if you just like flying, this one is a ton of fun to fly. It has great range, very acrobatic, gets pretty quick in these quicker, you know, these upper rates, the 80% to 100%. And basically, if you hate fun, you shouldn't buy this quad, because this one is a lot of fun. I mean, look at this. Large quad doing some funnels. Probably not the best thing for the motors, but hey, you can always replace those, right? And it's just too much fun not to do that. Let's be honest here. And then if you want to, you know, get some nice aerial video, let's tilt our camera down a little bit here. So that's going to tilt the camera down, and now you're getting some nice aerial video of the park. You can't beat that, right? And look how stable it is. I don't even have my hands on the sticks. It's not going anywhere. Helps that there's absolutely no wind out today at the moment. We do get a gust here and there, so let's bring it in towards me a little bit, and let's go back up with this camera, because I like to fly with it somewhat straight on. I like seeing those arms in the shot. I don't know what it is. Just kind of looks cool. And so let's bring it in a little bit closer, and let's go to altitude hold mode. This isn't even altitude hold mode. So to get into there, you're gonna wanna hit this button over here. So I hit that button, and it's basically gonna keep its altitude. Let's bring it back this way a little bit, drifting, getting a slight breeze. And so let's go, I'm not even gonna touch the stick here. Oh, do we have LVC already? Oh, no, I forgot. So when you're in altitude hold, the back LEDs are gonna flash like that. So you're not getting LVC, it's just in altitude hold mode. And it flies real well in this altitude hold. The way you're gonna know you don't have LVC is if you see that front headlight there, that's not flashing. That will flash when you get LVC. So here we are. It's getting pushed back a little bit, maybe it's drifting, I don't know. But you can kind of just fly this one around in altitude hold mode, and it's gonna keep its height. See how well that's working? And let's bring it back towards us here. And let's take it out of altitude hold. And then you kind of hear a little audible shift in the motors there, and it decreased the altitude quite a bit there. So this one does fly just a little bit heavy, so be aware of that. And you know, this one, like I said, you can fly at FPV. We're getting low power on the monitor here, but I'm flying this kind of line of sight, kind of FPV. And this one just flies real precise and very maneuverable. If you wanted to, you know, get some aerial video practice with this quadcopter, you can definitely do that. I mean, this one flies just real nice. Getting some decent video of the pavilion here. You know, the gimbal is only the one axis gimbal, so it's not gonna, when you turn the quad, it's not gonna keep it level in that respect. but it will keep whatever you're shooting in the horizon. And I think that's definitely a cool feature. A little bit of a bummer on the frame rate issue, but not a huge deal, because I mostly just kind of like to watch my flight afterwards and just see how it flew and everything like that. But I mean, this thing flies so well. We're getting a low power warning on our monitor. Monitor comes with a charging cable, also USB, and it takes, you know, somewhere in an hour and a half to charge. And you never really get that full charge. You always get that one bar that is never full on these. I don't know what is up with that, but every FPV monitor I've had with these toy grade quads, it's the same thing. You never get it never says you're fully charged, even though, you know, you get the light going off in the charger. But you know, I really like flying this one. It flies very precise. Been able to fly this through obstacles, been able to fly it, getting some nice aerial views, and it fights the wind very well. So you're gonna be able to put this one in the air on a lot of different days, and we're getting LVC here, so let's see if we got enough power to bring it back to me. Not really. And here's this one other con of this one. As I mentioned, the LVC is a little bit short with this one, and it tends to flip over a lot. And as you see now, I have 0 power. The LEDs are off, no power to the gimbal, nothing. So it does die kind of fast. That is one of the cons. The battery just kind of goes all of a sudden. So be aware of that, kind of keep a record of your flight. I'd say about 8.5, 9 minutes, that's what you're gonna get out of this one. That's pretty consistently what I've been getting. So maybe set a timer or just have it in your head. Hey, I've been flying this long. You can kind of use the timer on the FPV monitor to keep an eye on it, see how many times it resets. So best case scenario, you're gonna get this thing resetting about 3 times. Hopefully we didn't lose the tail end of our video there, but here it is, the Q303 from WLToys, sent to me courtesy of GearBest.com. Definitely will have the link in the description for this one. Definitely check it out. If you hate fun, if you hate fun, don't check it out, because this one is just a ton of fun, and you're gonna love flying this one around. Very reliable quad, has a lot of different features, a lot of different things you can do with this one. The Q303 from WLToys. Huge fan of this quadcopter. I cannot really convey to you guys how much I really like this one. Overall, I'm gonna make a bold claim and say this is my favorite toy grade quadcopter I've ever flown. I think you guys are gonna love it. There it is, the Q303, courtesy of GearBest.com. I wanna say thanks again to GearBest for sending me this one for review. Great everything quadcopter, FPV, camera quad, just straight up fun to fly. So if you hate fun, like I said, steer clear of this one. But if you wanna have some fun, check this one out. I can't recommend this one enough. It's probably my favorite toy grade quadcopter of all time. So definitely check it out, link in the description. Stay subscribed for all my reviews, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if I missed anything, or if you have any questions at all, or if you have any suggestions, anything at all, hit me up in the comments below. I thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, happy flying, and try not to crash and burn. Q303.